Living your truth.
Living your truth.
Living
Salud.
your truth.
Do what you got to do. Welcome back to your new favorite podcast, Too Funny for Free. I'm Thomas.
I'm Savannah.
I'm Jamila.
I'm Gerald.
And we're here with another episode for you guys. So we're going to start off with an ick.
Yes.
My ick of the week is people who use plastic utensils at an establishment, at a restaurant, and then they think they're better than you because in that they're eating more sanitarily than you because they got plastic. The plate that you still eating off of was in that same dishwater. Grab that fork and stop playing with me. What y'all think about that?
Leave them people alone.
Man.
I unfortunately agree. I agree because it's like, I only agree because when people do it like real extra, it's like very pretentious, like girl, okay.
Like you act like you can't
so
eat
now
your
I'm a
food
dirty bitch.
till-
Okay.
Y'all talking about my aunties because my aunties is like that. But what about people who get hot water?
I was just about to say that motherfucker.
Okay,
hot
now
water.
I can deal with hot water because you're more sterilized than
Can
it.
you? Because
Okay.
that hot water is not sterile. It's not hot enough to be sterile.
I feel like it is.
It's not
If it's-
boiling.
if it's
boiling?
smoking, if
it
it's
ain't
smoking,
boiling. If it ain't
it's
boiling,
smoking,
it ain't
then
sterile.
why
if
you
it
can't
can
get
steep some
plastic
tea, it's
silverware?
hot enough. Huh?
Why you can't get plastic silver? I don't do that, but I'm just
I don't.
saying,
I'm
like,
not saying
There's
you
nothing wrong with
can't, but
plastics.
I don't think it's
It's
nothing
nothing
wrong
wrong.
with it.
It's nothing wrong with plastics.
But
But
you
y'all
don't
gonna
think
eat
you
off
better
that
than
plate.
me.
I don't think that's what that is.
But if you gonna eat off the plate, where your food is literally just
Maybe
Right.
y'all never had a fork
Right.
that was dirty.
that's
I've
that's
had a fork
facts.
that was dirty.
If you get a fork that's
Okay.
dirty, then okay.
But it was in the same dirty water
I
as
think
the
that's
plate.
why they get the plastics though. I
But
don't
no,
think it's
some
about
people
dirtiness.
do that habitually, no
Yes.
matter what. Before they even see the plastic wet, please.
I think
Yeah.
if they could order a plastic plate, they would. But
What about a plastic cup? They get plastic cups too.
No,
they could
Can I
get
get me a
that.
plastic cup?
My thing is, if you got everything in a to-go plate or to-go cup, then okay, you really saving the world here. But if you if you drinking out of a fucking,
I'm weak
you
as
drinking
fuck.
out of the glass or the cup, you still got your food on the plate,
Yeah.
and your hold up is a straw and some plastic
No,
silverware.
because catch this tea.
Come
They
on.
always be wanting a straw in the damn cup, but you gonna sip that martini off that glass.
Come on now.
I didn't see the time and time again. Like, how is that glass different from the water glass?
And so
Something about sipping a lemon drop through a straw just ain't cute.
Mm.
I got to touch that glass, baby. I'm
That's
sorry.
what I'm saying. It's
Right.
all the
Sit
same
there.
glass.
so touch that glass and throw that plastic silverware away.
Hey,
We wasting plastic.
Come on now, we're trying to save the earth. Ain't we?
Save the earth.
The turtles.
The turtles. I don't want no dirty ass fork.
I don't need
Right,
I don't
no dirty
either.
ass
And it ain't nothing
knife.
that. Give me a new one, baby.
Right.
This one wasn't washed.
I'm all for
But if
switching
that
some
one
shit
wasn't
out.
washed, that other one probably wasn't
I'm
washed that
gonna
good
keep it a bean
either.
with y'all. I'm gonna keep it a bean with y'all. I know you don't want to hear it. Ain't none of that shit washed
I
properly.
know.
This
Yeah.
ain't you. We not
A lot
eating
of
at
things
home.
that we do
And
as humans is nasty.
you gotta just kind of sometimes when you out and about in the world, you gotta just put the clean
Yeah.
behind you because I'm
Yeah.
telling you, these
Yeah.
folks is not clean like
Yeah,
you.
y'all right.
So you
Yeah.
gotta be thinking about that. So I just be like, you know what? Hey,
yeah. They
God
washing
bless.
too much
I
stuff
see
at one
it.
time.
Yeah.
Hell
Sometimes
yeah.
what you don't know don't hurt
they do a
you.
quick
Yeah.
rinse.
Hello.
We probably ate a lot of things we shouldn't
Please, I'm
Gerald,
uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, you're right. That is hilarious.
Yeah.
I guess we can go ahead and get into our topic of
Let's
the
get
day.
into this
Yeah.
topic.
We were talking about before we got on mic. We were talking about this Drake and K Dot situation, right? And
Yeah.
we said we can take it and zoom out a bit and think about it from can somebody black or somebody in the culture be a culture vulture, a cultural appropriator? And I think y'all had some varying topics and ideologies around it. But for
Yeah.
me, I'm not talking about Drake specifically, but somebody who is literally black cannot be called not black. You can't call them appropriator of a culture that they are a part of, especially through their genes and DNA. I'm black. How unblack can I be? I can go against us.
Yeah.
I can try to harm the black culture. I can try to do that, but you can never call me not black if I am literally black. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's real shit.
I don't know if y'all have a different opinion on that.
You know, I
But-
will say having two black parents feels cool. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Because one thing
Yeah.
I'll never have to do is argue about my blackness. I'll
Mhm.
just put that on the table real quick. Sorry to all those who are mixed.
And it's not a harm or shade.
It just is
It
what it
ain't no
is. You
shade.
can't
It's
help
no
it. You can't
shade.
help
No,
that
it
your
wasn't their
parents,
fault.
was swirling. But my parents weren't. So I know I can speak on some things because
Mhm.
I am a part of this culture. So the question of
Hold on, what you mean I am a part of this culture? We said that.
We said that
If
they're
you-
part
if
of
you-
culture
if
as
you-
well.
They part of the culture too.
Oh, I was
DNA
finna get
wise.
to my point B.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Because there is a difference between somebody who is black and who is tapping into other facets of black culture and who has been raised within this culture and I'm gonna bring Drake into it. I know you said anything about Drake, but I gotta use him as an example. I think to say that Drake is a part of Black culture through his core is just not true. This man is a biracial Canadian. That's an important factor. We cannot take that out of context. We cannot remove that. His dad being Black, he is not his dad. That man is a biracial Canadian. He can't help that. He can't help that he's a biracial Canadian, but he is. He was born and raised in Canada with his mama who was white. He was not raised with his daddy. He didn't say it so many times his daddy wasn't always there. So how you gonna sit here and tell me to my face, who was raised around Black folks, my Black family, my Black ass mama and daddy, that me and you got the same outlook of race? And that's not to say that all Black people are raised the same at all. But racializing yourself is a huge component for how you are going to be viewed and how you view the culture in and of itself. I think he so desperately has always wanted to really, really, really strongly identify with his Black heritage. But I just don't think that he really does. I think he sees it as something to join here and there and everywhere. I don't think that, because for us, it's not something we consciously think about. It's just something we do. It's just a part of us. Exactly.
Right.
But for him, it's always like, I want to try this part of Blackness. Now I want to try this part of Blackness. I'm having fun. You can't be confused when people look at it and be like, white boy.
But here's
Can't
where
be
I push
confused.
back on Jamila's point, because I feel like the only people that have a problem with him tapping into other subsets of the larger Black culture is Black American people. The people, when he was on his Caribbean vibe and he went to Jamaica and he went and put other people on, those people have no problem with his presence there.
Yeah.
When he did the whole thing with the British Black rappers and stuff and put them on, nobody there had a problem with it. So if we're the only people that have a problem with it and it's not our subset of Black culture, who are we to criticize if he's actually putting people on?
Yeah.
If he was just going there and acting like he invented this shit and never put nobody on, never shined the light, then that's one thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like we should maybe think of it at a different perspective. If he's putting those people on and the people actually there are fucking with it, they love it. They're like, thank you for shining a light on our subset that people really didn't know about mainstream.
I think that's valid. And he's definitely put a lot of people on. As I said earlier, he needs to use that. That's a big part of his legacy, him putting a lot of people on. Like, he deserves his tens for that.
Mhm.
Absolutely. However, I don't think it's a coincidence. And I hate to be a diaspora war, Victorian, but a lot of those other cultures do not also respect Black Americans. So
That's
I
true.
don't think that that's a coincidence that they, praise him for tapping into their culture, but then got mad at Beyonce for doing Black is King.
I don't think a lot of
Clock
a lot
it.
of African people got mad at Beyonce.
Absolutely. Was upset with her because she doesn't do a lot of tours in Africa. Never mind the reason being is because of infrastructure, but that happens a lot of the times. But it's okay when Drake does it. So I think the issue is centered around Black Americans. And Black Americans, we do take our culture very seriously because a lot of people shit on our culture and act like we don't have any.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of people act like we don't.
Right.
Exactly.
Hip-hop
literally our
That's
whole
us
culture.
right
That's the
there.
whole culture.
So I think that that's a big part of it because we are very sensitive about our shit.
Yeah.
And it's more so like a lot of people feel like Drake doesn't take it seriously because he almost just kind of uses it as a tool for marketing and to get these numbers. And that's not to say that he can't. It's a weird concept because it's like, I'm not saying that Drake can't tap into Black American culture or Black Caribbean culture or whatever. I'm just saying I think it's interesting that when people are criticizing him about this, it's kind of just like, I don't give a fuck. I can do whatever I want. I'm Drizzy Drake. I'm the boy.
And he can. And see, this is my and I'll be honest, I do have a Drake bias.
Yeah.
I
Same.
love Drake.
Yeah.
Same. Biased as fuck here.
We sitting
And
next
this
to
is
Miss
the
Aubrey
thing.
Brown, so.
Literally, this is my thing, right? You have the skin tone and you have the vernacular, you have the background, you're Jewish. Yes, but nigga, you still Black. Use all of those things to get us to where we need to be. And he said this over and over.
But has he? Does he?
Yes, he
He don't be
has.
speaking on black issues.
He don't need to
He
speak
don't.
on it.
Does he?
No, he
And
doesn't.
I don't think he does either. But I'm
Mm-mm.
saying you can't say that he's bringing up all these issues and then but he doesn't speak on any issues. Like you can't have it both. You can't have the best of both worlds all the time and expect for people to not call it out. That's
I can
not
see
fair.
that.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, try to make fun of Kendrick for trying to quote unquote free the slaves. Like nigga,
Nah,
you
that
are.
bar was funny though.
It
I ain't
was
gonna lie.
funny.
I don't
It
like
was
when
you rapping
Kendrick
like you
does
try to
that.
keep
I don't
free
like
slaves.
all that conscious ass rap. I'm
and
sorry.
that's a
And that's
preference.
just Gerald though.
Yeah,
You're
that's
right.
Yeah,
and that's
that's
okay.
And that's
I know a
okay.
lot of people that don't really care for that stuff. I get that wholeheartedly. But again, it sounds very contradictory coming
Mhm.
from this biracial Canadian.
But he's still black.
Is
we
he?
have to stop that in
That
our
is a
culture as
that is
black
a
people.
that is a conversation.
We
When
have
we
to
talk
stop
about
that,
what is
y'all.
black, we can have that conversation.
We have to stop
I-
talking about that shit.
I feel like honest. Go ahead.
So, how is he not black though?
I'm not saying he is or isn't. I think that it's a conversation to be had
Yeah.
because when we talk about what blackness is, a lot of the times we still hold so tight into that one drop rule that we just get diluted as fuck.
Yeah.
And it really doesn't make sense to me because if you and I'm not this is not talking about Drake right here. If you don't look black,
Mhm.
you wasn't raised around black people, you don't know shit about being black, you're not perceived as black, you don't even identify as black all the time, why the fuck would I call you black? That's happening now.
Yeah.
That is a thing that's actually happening. So I think that we're too broad in our scope of ideas of what is black. Now, I have grown up and I have always recognized biracial folks, meaning one black parent. And when I say a black parent logic, I'm not talking about you because your daddy is mixed. You're a quadroon. Anyways, when I'm talking about biracial people, I mean one fully black parent and one white parent. We've always grown up to call them black. That's just how we've been socialized. But as I'm in my present day and as I kind of zoomed out, I'm like, there's something to be said about just blanketly calling every biracial black because unfortunately every biracial don't look the same.
Right.
And
That's
how
true.
you look and how you are perceived is a huge part of race. And one thing we talked about in our sociology class is that level of perception. If you do not look black and you are never perceived as black by anybody other than black people, you simply are not black. That does not make sense to me. Because how are you treated like a black person if you don't look
That's
black and you
insane.
don't act black?
But my pushback to that point is just think of how the culture would have turned on Drake had he not said that he was black, had he acted like he was not black. Because we see that a lot of times with Tyler, the girl from Water.
Mm-hmm.
She comes from South Africa. In South Africa, there's African black, you have colored,
Yes.
which is our equivalent
Mixed.
to biracial,
Mhm.
and then you have white. So she doesn't identify as black, and a lot of black Americans had a problem with that. And so my thing is, if he didn't, him now making his his mark in the U.S. American music market through hip hop. If he acted like he wasn't black, that would have been a fucking problem for us.
Yes,
I
And we
agree.
would have been
Yeah.
calling him all
I
types
agree.
of coons.
Yes,
We would have
we
called
would
him
have.
all types of this, that, and the
That's
third.
my
So I
issue
feel like
too.
on the
Yes.
flip side, it's harsh for us to be like, now you're not black.
Mm-mm.
Because it's
I
like
totally
we
agree
would have
with you.
we would have tore your ass up had
Yeah.
you come in here talking about you not black.
I'm Jewish.
11 years ago.
I'm from Canada.
I'm Jewish
Yeah.
because I was raised Jewish. I
Yeah.
wasn't raised black, so I'm not black.
Yeah.
Nah, nigga, that
No.
hair's a little curly and kinky. Now.
Yes.
Got a
Yeah.
little curl to
Black,
it now.
bro.
I totally
Black.
agree with you, but I'm saying that's a criticism for us, who we identify as black, because we will, as soon as we find out anybody got a piece of smidget of nigga, we like people, and it's like, now hold on. Because the way
See.
logic is holding on to nigga
Ooh, that
is
slither.
insane. Like I said, he is a quadroon, and you gonna tell me that he's a black person? Because let's keep
So
it a
are we
whole
excluding
stack.
quadroons now?
Let me tell you why.
You ain't answer my
I'm-
question.
Answer the question.
Yes,
Hold
a
on.
quadroon is not a
Oh.
nigga. A quadroon is not a black
That's
person.
insane.
So
Because-
Drake's son
I
ain't
got
black.
If
so
my
much pushback.
let me ask you a question, and I want you to be 100% honest. If I just told you right now that my grandmother was white, would you tell me I was a white woman?
No.
Thank you.
But also,
Well, you
let's
know
talk about
that.
this. Black genes are
know you.
black genes are dominant. And
That
this
does
is
not matter.
scientifically proven.
But that does not
It does
matter.
matter in the fact of you can have two white genes, and those are white genes. If you add a drop of black genes just because of how dominant our actual genes are biologically, I listen to Dr. Crest, the Crest theory. She'll let you know any drop of black makes that DNA non-white. So you're not white anymore once you put that drop of black. The one drop rule is not just a saying. It's like actual genetics because our genes are so dominant. So you can have a quadroon and still have a big ass bell pepper nose.
And you can be raised in the fucking hood
and still have
Bell
curly
pepper
kinky
nose
hair.
I want y'all
And that's
to be
because of how
serious.
strong our
I want
genes
y'all
are
to be
and are
serious
dominant.
for a second. So I want y'all to be serious for a second because you just acknowledged because that is the exact same equivalence. If I have a white grandmother, which would make me a quadroon of a reverse setting,
Right.
Nobody would look at me and say I'm a white woman
because those genes are recessive.
It don't matter. The black genes are recessive too for quadroons. Yes, they are. Nope. I have never looked at Logic and thought he was anything other than a white boy. He just overly tells us. That's why we think it. Nobody ever looks at Logic and like, that's a nigga. That's like, oh, okay. Most quadroons look white because why?
Quadroon is crazy.
Yeah.
Why? Because they're outnumbered. But let's also, if we're going to talk about DNA, like let's keep it a whole stack. Everybody who has heritage within the United States, black and white people, have mixed generations. We're not the only ones with white genes in us. White people also have black genes in them too. If you go down the diaspora, or not the diaspora, if you go down their lineage,
gene pool, yeah,
exactly. So if we're gonna start using that, then everybody in fucking America is black. Is that true? Hell no.
But here's my thing: is I feel like we get a bit divisive as black people when we start excluding people, because honestly, even when you look at our movements as black people, a lot of those key people were biracial. A lot of those people who fought on the front lines were biracial. And so now when we get into the divisive black culture wars of like, now we're excluding them from the shit. I feel like that's crazy.
I'm not excluding anybody. I don't think that I'm not excluding anybody as far as biracial people. I'm not saying that biracial people are not black. I'm saying that just calling somebody black because they have black ancestry is not always going to be the case.
But we were talking about Drake, who's biracial.
I know, but I'm saying it's a conversation that needs to be had because it's not a blanket. It's not, because there's a lot to be said about the difference between J. Cole and Drake. They're both biracial. A lot of people did not know J. Cole was biracial until he fucking told us. And there's multiple reasons for that.
It's because he grew up in America.
Exactly. It's a conversation needs to be had. It's not a blanket saying we cannot just say just because you got black ancestry, you black. That cannot be said. Because like I said, a lot of people would then be considered black that you would not want to be considered black because you don't look black, you don't act black, you don't have black people in your family, you don't even want to be black. But now I'm gonna call you black just because your fucking great grandmama was black. I don't give a fuck about that.
But is there a problem? Because are we trying to make it a thing that's an issue with calling people black, or is the issue really you're appropriating this culture? You get what I'm saying? Because why does it matter if you're called black or not?
I don't have an issue with people calling Drake black. I really don't. Because his daddy is
you call Drake black?
That's insane.
You hear a rat piss on cotton?
I'm trying. I've have before. Absolutely. I've never called him white.
Okay.
So what is the difference between him and J. Cole? Is it because J. Cole doesn't, like we just found out that he just recently told us, we just found out that his mother was white.
No. So, this was on the and shit.
This was new to me.
No. I've been knew that his mother was white.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's talked about it before a while ago. For me, what the difference is really just kind of how he's socialized within himself. He socializes as a black man. He identifies solely as a black man. I've never really heard him, and I could be wrong, but I've never really heard him refer to himself as biracial.
Never.
Not J. Cole. Drake does often.
Yeah.
He talks about being biracial a lot because that is a serious part of his identity because he was solely raised around white folks. And I'm saying we can't take that part away from him. You can't just say Drake is just black 100% down. He's a black man, period. The conversation is there because that's not authentic and that's not true. He is a racialized black biracial. I think we have to start talking about conversations as a full picture because race is just what you look like. Right. Your ethnic background is who you is for real. Yeah. Right. Okay. So sure, he most of the time he's gonna identify as racially as black because he has mostly black presenting features, even though he's high yellow. You know what I'm saying? Nobody would really look at him and be like, "That's a fully white man."
Right.
That's obvious.
Be an all the way white man.
No, I already know
physically. And be raised in the hood.
You can't.
Be identified as black.
Paul Wall is that example. Nobody called Paul Wall black. Nobody calls Paul Wall black for real. They may call him that, being, silly, but nobody calls Paul Wall black. Nobody's ever confused him for a black man. They know that Paul Wall is white and he was raised around a lot of black folks, and he is he kind of dips and dabbles in black code. Not even dip and dabble.
So the DNA is what's going to dictate, is what you're saying, though, right? If the DNA is what's dictating, if you have a drop of black in you, you can say the N-word. You are black, bro.
Define a drop.
A drop is crazy.
Because there's a lot of white Americans.
To me, a drop is a quadroon.
I get what you're saying.
As Jamila.
A quadroon is crazy.
A quadroon is a drop of black. That's a drop. That's a literal drop. It's in there.
But that's what I'm. No, it's not.
Like Drake's son.
No, it's not.
I had to look twice.
That's why you think Drake's son, that white boy can say nigga and it just won't raise no eyebrows?
I feel like he can. I feel like he can only because his daddy Drake.
Somebody light skinned like you. That is insane. Jamila.
I'm light skinned. So what? I'm black fully.
Yes.
But 2 black parents. 4 black grandparents, 8 great
blacks.
But
the thing is, it's the same. There's
8 great blacks.
Whatever the fuck you said, that's your same skin tone.
I'm not the same skin tone as Drake. Please be serious.
Yeah, I'm just saying there are people that are quad whatever.
No, there are not.
And that's
there are not quadroons my complexion. Pull them up right now.
Okay.
Pull them up right now. Name one quadroon that's my complexion.
No, nobody specifically.
That's my point. You don't know no quadroon that's my complexion.
The thing is, Jamila, they're still black. You can't call these people not black.
Yes, I can.
Well, you can call whatever the fuck you want to call them, I guess.
Because if somebody has to be like, oh shit, you're black, you're not black.
That's insane. You could be racially ambiguous.
Guess what that means? Not black. That means racially ambiguous.
Insane.
That's what that literally means. If you're racially ambiguous, that means you are not black. That is quite literally what that means.
So do we need to create another subset?
That's essentially what Jamila is saying.
Race is a very very, very complex issue. It is a very complex conversation, but saying that somebody is racially ambiguous is literally saying that they are not black because they are racially ambiguous. That's what that means.
There's some mixed people that can come off as racially ambiguous.
Are you racially ambiguous or are you black? Thank you.
But it's because I am dark skinned and it's because of where I'm from.
Okay.
But Jamila, hold on, what you gotta understand.
I am not racially ambiguous and I'm black as well.
I know, but Jamila, what you gotta understand is there's some biracial people who are racially ambiguous. Yeah, I've seen a child that has a black mama and a white dad and still has blonde hair and blue eyes. And you could barely tell, and it ain't like her mama mixed, but
you're proving my point. You just said that there is a biracial child that is racially ambiguous.
But you can't. But then I'm saying that to say that you can't say that racial ambiguity is not black. Yes, because that's still a black child, even though they're biracial.
Most black people, and please don't bring up nobody who has albinism because that's always people's.
Oh yeah, that's not even in the
Black people with 2 black parents are not racially ambiguous.
Right. Okay, but just going back on the topic of
you can't call nobody that has black in them not black.
Yes,
if it's in your DNA,
you cannot say if it's in your DNA because I just told you a lot of white people who have their heritage that is stamped in the United States also has black in them because of the entire history of our country.
Percentage of black DNA.
It's not about a percentage.
That shit is insane.
It's not about a percentage.
That's nasty.
It's not about a percentage. What I said was, if you are not perceived as black,
by who?
The world.
By Jamila Bell.
No, I'm nobody. If you are never perceived as black socially, if you are not raised by black people, there are a lot of things that go into your racial makeup, right? We're not talking about your ethnicity here. I'm not taking away nobody's ethnicity. Your ethnicity is all of these things that make you up. Yeah. Your race is what you look like and how you're perceived. That is always going to be the case. This is studied by scholars, y'all. I'm not going to change the definition because y'all want me to. That's what it is. If I see somebody down the street and they look white, then they're racially white. That doesn't mean that they don't have a black parent. That doesn't mean that they don't.
What I would say though to sum all this up, I feel like if I saw Drake cornrows or not, I'm like, that's a nigga.
And I already said that.
If I see
I never said that he's not.
Yeah. I'm gonna say nigga. If I see his son, I haven't seen him when he's a teenager and he's a 25-year-old man.
That's a little white boy.
I'm gonna say this nigga is very interesting, but I bet he got some black.
That baby white.
He's ambiguous.
If y'all didn't know that was Drake's baby, y'all would not say that, bro.
Cap.
Y'all would not say that. I don't care what y'all say. Just because that baby got curly hair, there are a lot of white people with curly hair.
I can see Travis Kelce be like, that nigga there, he really a white man, but he might have been born in the hood somewhere.
It's just a fade.
I'm sorry.
It's just a fade.
It's just a fade.
It's literally just a fade.
But that's my point. When we start trying to include everybody in blackness, now we start acting crazy and talking about some Travis Kelce.
It's ignorant. That is a white man.
But
Exactly.
also, what we have to understand too is black is an American term. Like
It is.
everybody internationally don't identify as black, and so
You're
I feel
right.
like the to play devil's advocate, where Kendrick may be coming from is the idea that you're not black as in black culture. As in, you were, like Jamila said,
I
raised
think that is what he's
Canadian,
saying.
and that's where that's how I digested it when I first heard it. Is that that's the difference between J. Cole and Drake. J. Cole was culturally raised black in America. In Canada it's different. It's a melting pot. You can look like Drake and say I'm not black, and nobody will question that in Canada because it's a melting pot. Things are different. They didn't have as much racial strife up there. So you can identify kind of wherever you want. But I think the thing that a lot of black people don't realize is that black, the term is really an American thing. And that's why we even have issues with African people because they like, I'm not black, I'm African. And because that's black is an American term, really.
But I also think that I definitely agree with you with that what Kendrick was saying, but I also kind of think that he wasn't necessarily saying that you're not black. I think he was saying that if you are black, then just be black. It seems like you're searching for that validation within yourself that you're black.
He didn't say that because he said, I like when Drake make me dance.
Yeah.
He was like, but I don't like when you say nigga.
Right.
So,
but I don't think he was saying that he's not black.
How you gonna snatch up
The way he just did, I don't know.
He ain't snatched shit.
Ooh.
And that's a fact.
On a lighter note, who winning the beef?
Kendrick.
I'm biased, baby.
You gotta understand what day it is today.
I'm biased.
Because Drake was just winning.
I feel like they neck and neck. I'm gonna just say that.
It's the same.
Drake
I could say neck and neck.
I feel like they neck and neck.
I could say neck and neck.
I was saying Drake was winning before he dropped that last little bop.
Yeah.
Because if you got niggas grooving and you a pedophile, it's crazy.
No, that's insane.
Like I'm really like the catches.
Yeah,
I feel like that
A-minor
Michelle
is
Obama
wild.
just
A
like
minor is insane.
That's
And I'm waiting
A-minor
on him
was-
to.
And we don't know if it's
nasty
true.
word.
We don't know if it's a fact. Jamila
That's why
said
he
that
did
they
But
in
had
the
also
booth.
too,
something.
because I had
don't
this
know.
discussion with somebody. They were like, well, do you look at Drake different because he's, they say he's a pedophile, XYZ, and I'm like, those are unsubstantiated claims. Like, I'm not gonna put
I
that
don't
on
want
nobody.
to throw the music
But
away.
I'm like,
I don't.
but my thing is,
I'm
do
biased.
Kendrick fans feel some type of way now that it's coming out that there's domestic violence?
Clock
allegations?
it.
So my thing is, let's talk about it. And then here's another thing with Kendrick: your fiance and the mother of your two kids is biracial,
Clock
just as
that.
biracial
Don't know
as
nothing
Drake.
about that.
So it's like you can't take somebody black
Yeah.
card when you go home to a biracial woman.
Is
Like
she
that's
biracial
hard to
or
do.
is she black? So she
She's
got two black
biracial.
parents, but she's still pale.
Well,
She's
apparently
biracial.
one of her parents is biracial.
Okay,
So
she's a quadruple.
she's not.
So that means she not black.
A
We don't know.
quadruplet
She's
is
racially
crazy.
ambiguous.
Like I just said, if I have a white grandmother, are you gonna now say that I'm not black? And you said
No,
no.
I can look at you and tell
Because
that
black
you black.
kids are dominant.
That's it.
Did you? Who said bell pepper nose? Let's go back.
I
to
said
that.
bell pepper nose.
That's
Very
insane.
much so.
Oh, yeah, bell peppers.
And we've seen it before.
Yeah, we got them.
The bell pepper
Snap.
nose will come through your great grandpappy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
And
also
hair.
very much West African features. That's why a lot of Black Americans have those, because a lot of East African folks don't have wide noses.
They don't.
I just wanted to throw that out there.
I know. Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
they be saying
the
nigga nose,
diaspora
nigga nose.
encompasses many features.
Kendrick
Many-
did not
many
take
a
the
feature.
nigga away from Drake. I'm telling it right now. I don't care.
I mean,
I'll
clearly
go
he
on
did it
fucking
because he
path
started
here.
out saying nigga.
He can say whatever he wants to say. I
I
don't care
don't
if this
think-
nigga was born in Antarctica where there's nobody out
Oh
there,
my
nigga.
God. Y'all
He is
gotta
a black
get Drake
man.
big out y'all ass.
I
He
told
is
you
a
that
black
ain't where it
man.
is.
No,
He's a black
somebody
man.
on Twitter made a great point. They were like, with the Drake and Kendrick beef, it's almost as hard as flipping states blue and red for the
Yeah.
presidential debate because you're so
That's-
ingrained
that's what
in
this
your
feels like.
beliefs.
Yes.
It's
That's really what
hard
this
for
feels
a
like.
Drake lover to flip to the other side, and it's
Yeah.
hard for a Kendrick lover.
But it's been
to
done.
flip.
I'm not
If he
flipping.
is a
It's been
pedophile,
done.
fuck him. And that's a fact.
That's a fact.
I feel like
for
I'm a
sure.
swing state though, because Cole is my guy.
I like Cole too.
Cole
I-
is my
I
nigga,
like Cole
and I'm
too.
glad that he bowed out. I criticized
I
the
don't.
shit. I still
Yeah.
kind of feel like he should have stayed in, but to see
Nah.
the depths of hell these
I was
niggas
gonna say
went
not
to,
now. Hell
this
no.
nigga said y'all not disturbing my peace.
Yeah,
I
nah.
live
He
in
know
Raleigh,
them
North
folks.
Carolina.
And he didn't
Yeah.
have, he
with
didn't have
my
that much
family.
disdain for either one of them. So he's
And I
like,
think
yeah,
too,
I
he
still
realized that this beef is not about me.
Yeah,
Y'all
he
two
said-
niggas really beef.
Yeah.
They
Like
been
this shit
beefing
got
though.
nothing to do with me for
Yeah.
real. So why would I throw myself
Yeah.
into this shit? I
Yeah.
did catch a straight,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but this shit not about me.
Yeah.
This shit bigger than me.
I feel like
And
I
so-
had an objective view though, even though like I said off rip, I think Kendrick is gonna, eat him up. I said that from rip. I still feel like I'm objective because like I'm a fan of Drake's music, and like I'm gonna always say when Drake do his big one, like Family Matters was actually crazy. Like I was literally on live, like talking about some of the bars he was in. Like he went crazy.
He went crazy.
But then
Hold on, is Drake doing better than you thought he would do against Kendrick?
he is.
That's
He
insane.
is. I'm not gonna
I
take
feel like
nothing away from him.
I feel like that's good though.
I'm
for you
not
to say
taking
that
shit away from him, but I'm also looking at it.
holistically.
I'm taking a step back. You can't just look at it, each bar. You can't just look at the song Family Matters with sound bites. You got to look at it. Step back. Look at the full picture and how everything played out. It's not looking good for the boy.
Kendrick calling
That's
Drake
biased.
non-black and a culture vulture is insane.
Hey,
He's put
well-
too many people on. He is
Oh, well.
literally of the culture.
Is
he
he?
is
He is.
the culture is on Drake's back
Oh,
for 10 plus
brother.
years.
He has
you can
been
say what
holding
you
it
want to
down.
say.
Yeah.
He has the world in his hands, and it's for a reason.
Who's your artist of the
Stop playing.
decade?
Drake is one of the biggest artists in the world.
Yes, we
That's
have
not
to
a conversation. That's not
call the
that's not the
fact.
conversation that we're having. Nobody is discussing whether or not Drake is talented. Nobody is discussing whether or not Drake is a hit maker or whether he is not one of the biggest stars to ever hit the stage. Those are non-negotiables. None of that is what Kendrick is talking about.
Kendrick is trying to call him not black and a culture vulture.
I think that Kendrick is calling him
And
out
a
for his
pedophile.
own insecurities that he's projecting onto other people. That's
Or
what I
that
think.
he
he's
Or
doing
is
now.
it
Yeah.
when and how? Are these all
Right.
assumable things because his skin is light? And he's
I feel like you're
Canadian?
just saying that because Kendrick said it.
That's-
When, Jamila, tell us
Right?
when he
J. Cole-
projected his
J. Cole
insecurities.
but J. Cole is biracial as well, and he's
It's
not
about
saying
where
those
he's
things.
from. It's about where he's from.
That, but
Right.
I already
He
said
can't
that.
help that he's from Canada.
I never said that he can't help it. Of course, he can't help where
There's
he's
so many
comes
biases. When you in the
It's
front,
biased.
niggas like to hate on you. And
Right.
that's
You
really
just-
what the
that's
fuck
why-
is.
But you already
That's
said
why
you got a
it's
bias.
all it is.
Yeah.
Let's keep
That's
it
why
a
it
stack
is
though.
20v1.
It is, but let's
20v1.
keep it a
It's
stack though.
20v1.
Let's keep it a
It's
stack though.
20v1.
Y'all already said y'all have a bias for Drake.
I did.
They just
They
did.
did.
I did.
Yeah.
So if y'all are recognizing that y'all have a bias towards Drake, isn't that not gonna be relevant in the things
In
that
the
y'all are
raps,
saying?
yes, but you can't call me not black if I'm black. I'm sorry.
That's coming from you.
That is a
and I
nasty
never.
thing Kendrick said. That is
Kendrick
splitting
didn't
our
say he's
culture
not
in
black.
fucking half.
Kendrick ain't say he.
That's
wasn't
like
black.
saying, nigga, if you're
Kendrick didn't
mixed
say he's not
and
black.
you're light skinned, I do not fuck with you. But his wife is
He did
mixed.
not say that, and
That's what he's
oh
saying.
my God. Okay.
That's what the nigga's saying.
And he did not say if you light skin, you let's not.
That's essentially
being
what he
li-
is saying.
Let me tell you
y'all.
something right now. Being light skinned and being mixed are not
Yo,
synonymous. They're
yo.
not. As
If
I'm
your
sitting
skin
here
is
right
pale,
now,
we don't know if you mixed or not.
No, that's not true.
I don't
what-
know if you was mixed if I see
Be
you on the
fucking
street,
serious,
Jamila.
Gerald. Don't ever play with me right now.
I wouldn't know.
Be fucking serious, Gerald. Be
Jamila,
fucking serious,
I wouldn't
Gerald.
know.
Gerald, please.
I know you, so it's different. I know
No,
you grew
Gerald,
up around black
please.
folks.
The only time I have ever gotten questioned about my racial identity was when I got on fucking TikTok and was calling niggas out. That's the only time I've ever in real life have been questioned about my racial identity. Nobody has ever questioned if I was fucking
Black
mixed
or
except
not.
for white people. Because white
See?
people don't know what blackness is.
They don't.
And was that on TikTok or before TikTok?
That was before TikTok. I said white people.
Mhm.
Black people know
No,
what black
yeah.
is. I've never been questioned for being mixed.
What I'm saying is Kendrick is putting a split in our
But what I
culture,
just said
y'all.
is being
I
light
don't like
skinned,
that.
being light skinned, and being mixed are not synonymous.
I
There are
agree with
also
that.
mixed people who are brown skinned and dark skinned.
Yeah.
So, like I
facts.
said earlier, you cannot put a blanket statement on anything. You can't just go and say that all biracial people are light skinned. You can't say
That's
all
a fact.
biracial people
Yeah.
identify as black because a
Mhm.
lot of them don't. You cannot say
Yeah.
that all biracial people are racialized as black or white. You can't say that. That's all I'm saying.
Mhm.
So-
I'm not talking about Drake at that point. I'm talking about biracial people in general.
So,
I already said I view Drake as black.
Mhm.
So to summarize it, mixed people are black. Quadroons get an option to choose.
That's insane.
I'm not calling no quadroon black
Oh.
because
So
that-
quadroons are
that
you're
does
out.
not make
You heard
sense.
You
heard it.
eliminate.
That
You heard
literally
it.
does- Let's be
You're
real. That
eliminated.
does that make sense to you, Savannah? Because you ain't spoke on the quadroons. I need you to speak on the quadroons.
I just,
Is a quadroon black, Savannah?
I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Quadroon is new to me.
Yeah,
Quadroon
that's
is new to you.
shit.
You know what?
That's
I found
some
out
new
about
shit.
quadroon
Three-
on the Tony
that's
Moore
some
show.
new
me,
shit.
it's new to me.
You
That's
three-
always been.
3/4, you 3/4 white, and you want to tell me you're a nigga like me?
If that gene
No.
is a nigger gene,
But
and it's
we just
big
talked about
and
that
strong,
1%
black,
drop
bro.
of black.
Sorry.
Does that not? And if they're 3/4 white, and that last fourth is black, that don't mean they black.
No.
That's insane.
We just
Is
talked
Drake
about
is Drake baby black?
that baby white.
Thank you.
That baby
Well,
white.
I think that sums it up here,
That's
folks.
the quadroon in question.
Okay, well
That
that
makes
makes
the
sense.
quadroon
I didn't know
That's the
what
quadroon in
was.
question.
He do have blonde hair. That
That
shit
baby
do
was
got
blonde
blonde
hair
hair.
and
He
blue
do look like
eyes.
he albino to me. I'll just say that.
That
If
baby
he
is
He
was
could
white.
pass
albino,
for
more
albino.
pale,
That
He
baby
could
can't.
pass for
If
albino.
you
He
can
can pass
pass
for
for
albino.
albino, guess what you
Yeah.
can also pass for? White.
White.
That's the
Ooh,
pop
but
they
you can't
blanc.
say
All
that
right.
though. That's not good.
Who
You
can?
can't say that.
Who
Because
can?
if somebody is really black parent, and they're just an albino kid,
That
sucks.
is a kid who has albinism,
yes.
which is an entire. I already said don't bring them into this
But we
conversation.
talking about it.
No,
She did.
because
She
that
did
is
say
not
that.
your
She did say
race. That's a whole autoimmune disease.
Yes, it is.
That's not your race.
That's not your race. You're still black. You just have albinism.
Exactly. Exactly. That's
But
not
you're
a part of this
saying that this
conversation.
No.
kid is if he
No,
looks
I
like
think
We're
that's
talking
albino
about Drake's
though.
baby
I
who's
had
in
never
seen
quadroon.
that.
That's
Okay,
not
I
the
had
same
never
as
heard
having
of that before.
albinism.
yes, it's not. He's a black little kid with mostly white genes. Period. That's right.
So he's white.
No.
Why are we
He
why-
still could
Yo, I
identify as
think at this point
No,
we've
y'all
had,
y'all-
we've delved
you
into
identify as
discuss.
black. Fuck
I
that.
feel like we've delved
you
into
are
this
being a troll,
discussion.
and you know you is because you
as
know
much
that
as
little
we
white
can.
baby
That's
ain't no damn
black.
black.
And with
I don't
that
care if
being
you have blonde
said,
hair, bro.
Yeah.
I feel like
I
it's a
want
great
somebody to
time.
find me a quadroon that looks like a nig right
and I
now.
bet they're gonna find it for you.
I bet you they
And
won't.
with that being said, find Jamila a quadroon that
Because
looks
it's
like her,
biracials. That's
and we gonna
once,
close this
once you
episode
start
out.
diluting it with one parent, shit, you already getting lighter and
If you
lighter.
team
Look
Drake
at
or
damn
Kendrick, put it in
Diana
the
Ross
comments.
whole family tree.
She watched
Yeah.
All
that
them
black out.
grandbabies is white. Thank you.
Not a one. You
And
said
get-
all
I
What's
said,
talking about?
and guess what? The one that's
Diana
not
Ross.
is what?
a nigga.
Thank
I
you.
love Diana Ross.
I can't stand when y'all be playing with me.
Nobody's playing, sister.
Y'all playing with me, goddamn it! All them quadroons over there at the Ross family. They're
Nobody
white.
ain't saying nothing about the Rosses
We
being
talking
black.
about Drake.
Thank you. Quadroons.
Is the Ross
Tracy
family
Ellis
black or
Ross.
not?
Nobody would not say that that's a black woman, right?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. That's
okay.
a black woman.
Okay.
Tracy
Thank you.
is a black woman.
But is she
Okay.
a quadroon?
Evan Ross. Nobody would say he's not a black man, but them babies, white. Why? Because them babies is quadroons. Thank you. All them little grandbabies that Diana Ross got are white babies. We not about to sit up here and act like that one drop of black from Diana is traveling through. It's not.
You're right.
Them
Okay.
is some white
She's
babies.
snatching identities, y'all.
She's snatching
I
identities.
am.
Hide your folks.
We just,
That's insane.
Like Kendrick said, we snatching chains.
Yeah.
I don't give a
Snatching
damn.
identities.
Because
Yeah.
can't nobody really come for me. And that's what they always try to do. Well, you're light skinned too. Somebody shut your bitch ass up. I'm black on
It
It
both
was
sides.
somewhere happening.
It's
It's,
big black.
it's in all of us.
It's in all of us.
It's all of
And
us.
if we're going to have the conversation of why niggas in America are so diluted and we have all these shades, we can have that slavery ass conversation
Yeah,
later. But that's not what the fuck I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Well,
You ain't
Well.
finna try to take my black ass card when I got all my black people. The
Mm.
fuck?
you got all
And
eight
you
of
ain't
them.
finna
All
tell me
eight of the-
that
of the
me and a
black greats.
Great
quadroon
blacks.
got
The
something
great
in
blacks.
common.
The great black.
All the great
The
blacks.
eight great.
The
I
eight
got
great
eight
blacks.
great blacks. Fuck is you talking about?
8 great.
I don't got
blacks
shit in
is
common with a
crazy.
quadroon. And that's no shade to the quadroon. You can't help but
You
be
got
black.
one thing in common. That one black grandparent.
That's what I'm saying. That fourth, the black don't.
Why y'all keep going backwards? Didn't
We
just-
all talking in
didn't-
circles at
Didn't
this
we,
point.
didn't we just
Right.
prove the point
That's
that
why I
them
tried to
quadroons
close
is
us out
white?
10 minutes
We
ago.
talking in
Didn't
circles.
we just say them quadroons is white?
That's insane.
Did we
No,
not?
You
But
said
don't-
them quadroons.
but-
And you started to now when I brought up the Rosses,
I
didn't
saw
I?
the perspective.
So you gonna tell? Be honest. Be honest right now.
So
Be honest right now.
the-
Fuck Drake
Okay.
and his quadroon.
So
Let's look at Ross and her quadroons. You gonna sit here and tell me
Ross
that?
and her quadroons, I never considered black.
Thank you.
I'm just-
I haven't
So
seen
why
the
is it different with Drake?
I ain't
Because
seen
you
all
fuck
the
with
babies.
I've
Drake.
seen them Christmas cards.
I can't
They're-
speak on
they're
what I don't
white.
know.
They're white.
Are they
We
little white
you
women?
want me to pull them up?
I want to
Very
see
much
it.
They were
Okay,
white
well, let me
women.
pull
Very
them
much
up.
so. Just
Yes.
like their mama.
The only ones that's not mixed is her black daughter.
The first one.
Yes,
that
the
she
one she
had
with
with
Barry
Berry
Gordy.
Okay.
She married a black man, and that little tree is black. All her other kids marry white folks, and their babies are white. Just
Okay.
look up Diana Ross grandbabies and look at the snow.
Damn. And it's unfortunate.
And those
for
babies
those
don't
babies.
take away from her blackness,
Yeah.
obviously. You know what I'm saying? That's what I said. Tracy Ellis Ross. Nobody is considering Tracy Ellis Ross white,
That
even
baby
though
in the
she's
front is
biracial.
white. I haven't even seen. half
You
of
ain't
these
never
people
seen
though.
them Christmas
And like I said,
cards?
like I said,
No.
just because you're white, it does not take away from your black ancestry. I think that part is being missed. Y'all keep missing when I say
Just because
that.
you're white, it doesn't take away from your black
Your
ancestry.
black ancestry.
So they can still wear the kente cloth.
And they can still say nigga.
Y'all are going so deep. And it's just like,
I'm just
That's
saying.
what it takes.
do you wear kente cloth, nigga?
Fuck
If
no.
I wanted to,
Okay.
I don't know. A
All
guy.
But if
right,
you talking about
then.
ancestry, if my great granddaddy was Jamaican, nigga, I'm throwing up the flag.
Okay,
Hello?
then that's what you
Yeah.
want to do.
Wagwan.
That's what-
Wagwan, New
Then
York.
do that. All I'm saying is your whiteness does not take away from whatever your ethnicity is. Okay, them Ross babies, there's white babies, and there's nothing that's gonna change about that. They white babies with a black grandmother. Okay, that's you.
Okay. I think we've come to
Shit.
a end of
We're
this
gonna have to
conversation.
agree to disagree.
We're gonna agree to
I
agree
can't believe
and
y'all calling
disagree and
quadrants
disagree.
black. That's really crazy.
And I think this has been yet another amazing episode of the Too Funny for Free podcast. Make sure y'all tune in next week.
Yeah.
And we out.
And if you're a Drake or Kendrick fan, drop it in the comments. We're gonna see
Boom.
what team you
Salud.
on.
Cheers.
Salud.
Nigga bum.